Welcome back to the bubble, ladies and gentlemen, and another gameplay review from Cossacks 3. This is actually a pretty fun game. I played it together with Mitch, who we know from the Discord channel. It's a 4 versus 4 with 20 minutes peacetime, 5k starting resources, and if I recall correctly, no capture or artillery. But we will, I guess we'll learn more about that as we watch the game. And it's also pretty interesting for another reason as well, but I'll get to that later when we go through the lineup of the teams. Starting off with our opponents, we have Jonex, Bright Blue. We have 3 blue. I have no idea what we're going to name this one, but Bright Blue playing as Venice. In his team, he has Entrepreneur as well as the top left, playing as Russia. In brown, in yellow, we have Sisongi. In yellow, playing as Netherlands. And to the top right, we have Kaknoob playing as Portugal in red. And this is a lot of fun because I actually faced Kaknoob in another video that we have on this channel, and he did a really good job playing that game and also in building his base. As I recall, he had an absolutely awesome base. So let's see if he can keep up that building in this game as well. I think this was played before the last one. So now we can check out our team. Starting in blue, Malphite as the Netherlands. In the bottom right, we have me, actually, right? Yeah, me as Sweden. That's suitable. In bright blue as well. I will see how we're gonna keep an eye on that. And also in pink in the middle, we have Mitya UA playing as Spain. And in the bottom left, we have Mitch playing as Bavaria. So I will try to keep an eye on as many of the players as possible. We will be jumping a little bit, but I won't be able to go up too far. There's 2 of the players I won't be able to check their bases on because that will interrupt the recording, because that's just how I have my hotkeys. But we can start looking at Mitch in the bottom left. I think that will be suitable. So let's go. Right, there we go. Bavaria build. Starting pretty standard stuff with the town hall and also with the mill, of course. And I think I've gotten a comment that we should start putting the town halls to the very left, or to the left side of the mill, and also set the spawning point to the left side of the mill, because that will give them less time to go to the field and also to drop off the resources, if I recall correctly. And also pretty quick on his market as well, also starting to set up his second town hall. Mitch, you're doing a great job so far, my man. And if we go to Mitya, Spain, starting with 2 town halls, and now he's gotten the market. Usually you want the market before the second town hall, and also spreading out his constructions a little bit more, building to the south of the town halls. He is fast on his gold mine though, so that's very good. You can see the second one already right over there. And if we go to me, how am I doing? 3rd town halls, queuing up the barracks, trying to build it a bit more tightly around the mill. Also starting to work on the first gold mine, so I'm bit behind Mitya on that one, but fortunately I have the second gold mine pretty close by, and hopefully it won't be too long until I found the other ones. Have some idle peasants though. That's not good. I need to do something with these guys. Please do something. Do something. Hopefully I'll find it out soon enough that I have some idle peasants who could be collecting resources instead. If you look at Malphite playing as Netherlands, also building pretty tightly around the field, you can see that he had destroyed one of his storehouses here, or the first storehouse, because you just want it as fast as possible to get the market. It doesn't really matter where you build it. So fast storehouse, fast market, and then just destroy it. Also, I'm guessing that he's traded. Let's see, it's going to be really weird jumping through all of the... Yeah, I can't go to his point of view. But I'm guessing that he traded a lot of his iron, so that's why he needs the iron mines up, so he can sustain unit production. And also he's sending them musketeers south. Really, you should put him through the front line. Since I'm playing pocket, I should start sending my troops to his base as well, as soon as possible. But now we can start taking a look at our opponents. How are they doing? Russia, very interesting faction to play, and one of the more difficult one as I see it, because, let's see if I can check, yes, because you don't get as much population space from the barracks, you only get 25 of them, but they are much cheaper to build, don't cost any gold, and cost a little bit of stone, and some wood, of course. So you can get a lot of barracks, but they're not going to get as much population space. Also, the stables are very expensive. Right off the bat, it's 8k wood. So that's going to suck for a little bit. But he's playing pocket, so hopefully he will be good at reinforcing John X's front line, playing as Venice. Hasn't gotten the 3rd town hall yet, but hopefully he'll get that one soon enough. He is starting to make a lot of pikemen, though. Not any musketeers. When you play with peacetime, usually the meta is to get a lot of musketeers. As many as possible of as good enough units as possible. He has found his gold mines, though. 3 of them at least, and there's the 4th one. Pretty close by, fortunately enough. So hopefully he'll find that one soon. Go to Siasongi. Making a mix of musketeers and pikemen. Usually, you should go balls to the wall on one troop. So, on one troop type. So you don't have to spend money on upgrades that you don't need, basically. Because the round shears will cover the role of meat shield. Also, only 2 town halls and a much more spread out civilization right here. So the peasants have wasted a lot of time walking to the resources. And we can also see that the storehouse is placed on top of the resource. You want to put them below it because they drop it off. They drop the resources off at the top of the building. So you want to put it below to minimize the amount of time they need to spend on walking. Haven't built on that gold mine, haven't built on that, haven't built on that. So he'll be quite far behind when it comes to gold economy. Now let's go to Kaknoob. And yes, yet another beautifully positioned base so far. Let's see if he'll be able to mess it up later, but I don't think so. Usually building very pretty stuff. And let's see if I can see his point of view. Yes, I can. Only recruiting out of one of the barracks. That's probably a misclick. Hopefully he corrects that soon enough. Also starting to make mines on a lot of different ones. Already started on coal and 2 iron, but he hasn't found the 4th gold mine yet. Usually the 4th one is much closer to the border, to hopefully your ally, but it could also be closer to, I think it's Malphite in this case, Malphite's base. Hasn't started, now he's on his 3rd town hall, so he's a bit slower on that as well. Hasn't gotten the market up yet, and that of course slows everything down quite a bit. You need it early so you can trade resources and optimize your infrastructure as much as possible. Now let's see if we have anything fun to report on our teams. Mitch, still doing a good job getting his musketeers up. Also building a very tightly packed base, that's good. Hasn't started on stables yet, but he has gotten the wood cutting upgrade and also put a lot of peasants on wood, which is good because now he can start building the stables and he will be able to afford both of them, the first 2 ones, as soon as possible. As soon as he gotten the gold upgrades, I think he's gotten, yeah, he's already upgraded the gold mines. He just need to put some peasants into them and is already on route with doing that. And now he's starting with the stables as well. So that's great economy planning, I think. Good enough, at least. And if we go to Mitya, take a look at that base. Also very tightly packed base. Already have the Diplo Center instead of the stables. Usually, especially with 20 minutes peacetime, you should focus on stables instead, because you can very quickly recruit a lot of units from the Diplo Center. But since population is... population space is kind of important. You don't want to fill it up with trash from the Merc Center or Diplo Center. You want to fill it up with quality as much as possible. So that's why stables. And also, of course, the Musketeers from Spain. Very interesting unit, seeing as they are armored, but they take a bit longer to train. But let's see if I can see his point of view. Yes, I can. They take a bit longer to train. 7.5 seconds. If we compare that to... these guys, 6 seconds. So they take a bit longer, but they also benefit from the armor upgrades in the blacksmith and in the academy. Now, let's see how I'm doing, for example. I'm starting to send my musketeers and all of my units over to Malphite's base because I'm pocket player. That's my role. defend the edge player. And I'm working on my 3rd stable right now, so hopefully I got a pretty decent economy. We can see my point of view as well. We have 40 on gold, 20 on iron, and 25 on coal. Usually when I get all of the gold mines into level 2, I want to start going into level 2 with at least some of my coal and iron mines, because we don't want to run out of either when we start shooting. And also the harness requires a lot of iron and coal. The same thing goes for the stone excavation upgrades. 12.5k coal, 3,000 iron. And you don't want to go for stone until you've gotten at least the first stone excavation upgrade. So first food, wood, and then stone. And of course, gold mines as soon as possible. That's priority 1. Now I'm going with the Diplo Center, so I'm a bit lower on that end. We can also see that now John X started building a palisade towards Mitch's base. So hopefully Mitch will be doing all right with that. We don't have capture on, I don't think. So that's why I haven't started building a palisade yet. And usually I wait with that until the last couple of minutes, because I want my peasants to start working on food and other important resources instead of building a palisade. But the army looking very well balanced for Malphite. It's going to be very interesting to see when everything breaks loose. Also, it's gonna be interesting to see Mitya's army. Hasn't got a lot of cavalry if you compare this little squad with the army from Malphite. And also, I'm of course sending both musketeers and dragoons, and hopefully I'll start sending, yes, now starting to send the round shears, so we have something to block everything off with, all the shots off. Since I play as Sweden, I do get the option to get the Hakkapelites, courtesy of Finland. And they are, of course, fast light cavalry, but they take a while to train, and since we don't have capture on, harassment and raids won't really be that important. So instead, we'll need to focus on as much firepower as possible. Now I'm trying to go up to the 18th century. I don't have the resources for it yet. I'm way behind on food, and also way behind on gold, but at least I have the buildings for it, so I guess that counts for something. And 6 minutes left of peacetime. So far, I don't think we have anyone who's gone up to the 18th century, so we can't see the full map yet. When we do, I don't think we will be jumping between players. We can see that Malphite is making big formations. You know that most of us, especially Milkman, loves the small formations that stacks on top of each other, because they will be so much more difficult to edge out or to outflank. Because imagine if someone were to come here, then they would be completely outflanked. But if all of them were massed up on, let's say, a 36 formation, then it will be much more difficult to outflank, because more of them will reach at the same time. Or you can, of course, go balls to the wall on that one and do like Milkman played when he played Ukraine, making the Ukrainian bullet a square of 15. I do not have the patience to make that kind of formations, but he did, and it worked out very, very well for him, because that is impossible to outflank a little bullet. There we go. Now we have the full map, so we can get everything. Now we can go up to Russia, Entrepreneur. I'm sorry if I've been missing out on these guys a lot. He's making pikemen and also 18th century dragoons from the Diplo Center. Very expensive unit to train, so we don't really want them on the field that long, because the cost increases with how many you have on the field. So if you're gonna train them, make sure you don't have them on the field for too long, but rather just send them in, deal a lot of damage, and die. So rather like a break glass in case of emergency kind of unit, I think, but they are very, very efficient, seeing as how fast you can train them. And now, of course, we see the population problem that Russia has. They need a lot of dwellings, and also they only have one stable. Cavalry is very, very difficult to focus on when you play as Russia. You rather just want to mass out a whole bunch of infantry and get to 18th century as fast as possible, so you can get the 18th century musketeers. Now, how's it going for Venice? A lot still focused on pikemen. He does have some dragoons though, so he does have that going for him. And they will make a pretty fine shield wall, these pikemen, especially if you also throw in some round shears in the mix. But it doesn't look like he has the Diplo Center up and running yet. So the pikemen will need to suffice. Also, population problem. Usually everyone gets that around the 15-minute mark, I think, because that's when you usually reach 600, so you want to keep that one. You need to keep an eye on that, basically. 3 stables, though, so that's good. Let's check on Sisongi. Let's go on Sisongi, yellow. Also, still with a mix of troops. Hasn't put his units into formation, though. So they will not be benefiting from the offense and defense bonus that you get putting them into formation. Still only down on 2 town halls, so we would need a third one of those. And also, of course, you can see all the time that we're wasting right now. With idle peasants, you want to set the spawning point at a resource, preferably food, because you're gonna need that anyway. And when you have the both stone excavation upgrades, then you can and a decent amount of food, then you can start setting peasant spawning points to stone excavation points. The second storehouse also put on top. You want to put it below, like this one. That's a good spot for a storehouse. This one is also decent, but usually just put it smack dab in the middle, so they have the equal amount to run no matter where they go to collect resources. Also, I'm on purple, so Mitch is Popcat right now. I can go away from that. Actually, I need to be on you, Mitch, because you have the full, you have the balloon upgrade. And if we look at Kaknoob, still doing a great job in building his base. He is putting his unit into formation, so great job there. Also stacking them on top of each other. The broader or the bigger variety of formations, but I guess going for very small ones, most players don't have patience for that. So he's putting the, it looks like 196 formations. And also his cavalry in 40 formations. But all in all, this base is absolutely beautiful. Looks also like he, instead of a storehouse, he has the town hall. They still drop off the resources at the top corner. So the town hall kind of fills the role of the storehouse there. This storehouse, perfectly placed. Absolutely beautiful placed. Could have some more peasants on wood cutting, though, because otherwise you'll need to trade a lot to get the stables. He has 3 of them right now, though. And also working on his first 18th century barrack. So that will be a good army coming out from Kaknoob. And the peacetime is up. And we can see that Malphite is already pushing against, I guess, Sisongi. And he didn't move his troops on the minimap. That's why they're spread out like this. You want to set the direction on the main map and the location on the minimap. But let's see if we can get some battle going here. Let's hope so. Okay. Where are they gonna go, I wonder? Oh, he probably going for the palisades. Because although we don't have capture on, they can still destroy the palisades if they aren't built yet. And then they will be it will be open season for Sisongi's base. And Jonex is reinforcing Entrepreneur's base. He could have been able to win that. Just set the direction and then put them closer to the palisades. Or just push through here, because he does have round shears that would be able to clear this up very, very quickly. Now we also have a battle down here. And Mitch is doing a great job with his micromanagement of the troops. Just standing there. They don't need to run anywhere, because they do have a decent range. And his opponents aren't in formation. So he will, of course, have the advantage right there. And now he could start sending like some archers or something to start destroying the palisade. Malphite is pulling back. And now we have the Spanish army helping out in the corner. And this is a beautiful battle for Spain, because they are in formation on stand ground-ish. So they won't be running into unnecessary fire, just shooting whatever comes in range. Absolutely beautiful. And now the round shears broke down the palisade, and it's open season on this base. Now they are moving in, and now Mitch is going for the palisade. Remember, or for the gatehouse. Remember that the gatehouse has less HP than the actual palisade. So that's why it's quicker to break down, and you want to go for that one instead of the palisade. And now we have an entrance on that base, and we have a battle up here as well. where Red's army is being annihilated by Malphite. The round shears are so good at soaking up damage, it's insane. And now he's just going through the palisade, and I don't think Kaknoob has too much to put up against that. He will really need some help from Siasongi, who just hangs out in his base instead of coming out to help. And I understand that, because this is very terrifying to face a lot of clumped up formations. And now we have an opening in Kaknoob's base. Let's see how he deals with this. I mean, the round shears are going to be very difficult to shoot down, because they are so many, they're so clumped up. And also we have a whole shit ton of Dragoons coming out to help. So sorry to see Kaknoob's base being raided, of course. Although he was the opponent in this one, and he did such a great job at building up his base. Although pretty slow on the market. That's something he can practice on. And that's good. We always need to find something to learn. And here we have Sisongi trying to come out to help. But I have my ranged troops in stand ground, so they will only be shooting what comes in range. And my round shears are moving straight in to attack. Will be pretty easy to clear this up. If we go over to Venice, they are not having a good time either. The Spanish musketeers are doing a great job clearing out the dragoons as well as the round shears. But Brown is in Mitch's base. So they just went straight through the Spanish line. So Mitch is sending peasants over to rebuild in case that's necessary. But Pink is coming in as well as I am. And I'm also coming in to help clear this up. A lot of pikemen, so not a lot of things with firepower. But for whatever reason, I didn't set my dragoons to move and attack. So they will get killed quickly by the pikemen. But at least Pink had his head on a swivel and did a great job with his dragoons. And now he's sending even more round shears and even more musketeers. So Mitch's base will be cleared out in no time. Great stuff, while also keeping a push on the Venetian base. I have an army that I'm not doing anything with. I also have this one hanging out outside of Sisongi's base. And I did not follow my own advice to go for the gatehouse, but instead I went straight through the palisade. It went quickly enough. So now we will be fighting this little group right here. And hopefully my strategy will work out just fine. Now he's starting to form up his troops on top of each other, but I don't think he has them in formation, so they will still not get the damage and defense bonus. And here we can see the example of why formations matter. When you clump them on top of each other, put them on stand ground, they will just absolutely annihilate everything that comes in their path. And also Malphite comes in with his massive army to help out. And the Hussars are, of course, very good at harassing ranged troops, but when they have these many Dragoons, they will just shoot them down in no time. So that is, I would say, 3 down. Sisongi just GG'd out. And the same thing, looks like the same thing goes for Kaknoob. I would guess so, because the mines are gone, a lot of the buildings are gone, and he hasn't started rebuilding yet. And Jonex has also destroyed all of his military buildings, so it looks like it's just Russia left. Actually, Jonex sent a lot of his peasants into Entrepreneur's base. So he will be able to rebuild. It would also be good if he could take, like, this stone excavation point, for example, and then just start trading like crazy. Because stone, it's always there. It's such a reliant resource, because you don't need to re-sow it like you do with food. It just stands there, so you can collect it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And he's also sending out a lot of his troops, not in formation, just moving straight in to the slaughter from Malphite's dragoons. And now he realized that he needs to put them together, but no, he didn't. He just turned it around. And this is going to be a face-off, where I'm guessing that the melee troops won't be able to reach the dragoons. They're just moving straight towards their death in a nicely packed column or line, but still, to their deaths nonetheless. But Jonex is rebuilding all of his military buildings. Great stuff, because of course the military buildings cost stack. So you want to destroy all of those before you start rebuilding them somewhere else. And also, of course, aim for the more crucial buildings. A blacksmith might also be good here to have. And also a town hall, so we can destroy that one as well. So we can start building peasants again. Or recruiting peasants again. But it's good that he focused on military first, because he really needs to help out Entrepreneur here. Because he is heavily beset on all sides by everyone in our team. We have Mitch with some dragoons. We also have Mitya, of course, with his massive army coming in. And also Malphite and yours truly, me coming in from the north, and Malphite just going straight down the middle, killing everything. And I don't think, yeah, there I guess we have a GG from Entrepreneur. He hasn't destroyed his buildings yet, though. Now the mines are starting to go down. And it looks like Jonex has bowed out as well. So this was a very, very fun game to play. I don't think it was very balanced. And also keep in mind that me and Mitch were talking over Discord throughout the whole game. So we had a bit of an advantage there as well. And then, of course, Malphite was an absolute beast with the early aggression and pushing hard on poor Cacnoob. But all in all, a successful game and a very fun one, both to play and to rewatch after. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any tips or tricks that you feel like I missed, or anything that you saw regarding how the other players played, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And also, as always, feel free to join the Discord if you want some fun people to play with. Have a great day and take care. I will see you in the next one.
The Weird Bubble.